You're going to have to set up a new room now for that meeting.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, we're on YouTube again.
We are on YouTube?
We are.
Okay, and we are on Twitch.
Well, hello, anybody who's watching. Yay.
Successfully. We are in more places than one. Okay.
Hi, anybody who's watching. Hi from Greece. It's now very late. It's 1:45 in the morning over here. Yeah.
Now we just need to get some people on in here.
I'm here. You can chat to me.
Oh, definitely. I just want to pass this around. Oh, what we got going? Of course, she's over there in Germany, so it's getting to be about bedtime for her. Okay. Okay, so I'm just sharing it about before we get going.
Okay.
Trying to get us to where we need to be. News feed. I want to end a page. Uh-oh. One more, please.
Careful how much sharing you do over the weekend. I got my page threatened to be closed down by Facebook for the same reason.
For what?
For sharing. Apparently, if you share too much, or you post too much, or you comment too much, they can threaten or close your page.
Oh, you know what? I actually did have that once. I'm not sure. I want to say it was when I was still doing the dirt track racing stuff. We had got it shared so much because we had Stuart Friesen on. Stuart Friesen, to people that don't know racing, but Stuart Friesen around here. That's what I want to do. Stuart Friesen around here is a very well-known dirt track racing driver, but also he drives for NASCAR for the Truck Series.
Cool.
And he won like races back to back. He ended up winning the truck race in NASCAR. He raced over here on dirt and at his home track and won on that track and something else all in one weekend. So it was really.
How many times did you share it?
I personally, it wasn't even me that shared it. It was actually his PR group, because his PR wanted the PR from him being on the live show. All I was an engineer. I just made sure everything was working great, because the show was actually hosted by a friend of mine that used to come to my house and host his own radio show. So all I had to do was just the engineering end of it. And all of a sudden I get this thing from Facebook or something like that. They're trying to shut down the stream and block it because it had been shared so many times, because it got put on this, the agents and PR to this guy, because he drives for NASCAR. And because of that, it literally went everywhere.
I mean, I've been in Facebook jail before. I mean, most PAs and VAs get put in jail because our job is to promote our authors. But I was really, really shocked when I got that threatening. It's red and black. It was very threatening. In fact, let me see. I don't think I can, but.
But I was actually, what I was doing right now was I was embedding it on the website. It is now embedded on the homepage of litcon.org.
Oh.
So if somebody logs onto our website, onto the homepage at litcon.org, you can literally scroll to the bottom and see the YouTube video, and play the YouTube video straight on our homepage. So it just, that way it's in more places than one.
Yeah, I can't share screen, so I can't show you. That's just sod. If I could send you the photo on chat.
All right, now we actually have something going. Make this a little bigger, even though it's, I don't know, I wish I could shut that mouse off, but it doesn't let me do that. But that's okay. I'm okay with it. I can deal with it. Okay, now that we are finally live the way I planned on this morning, we can kind of get down to a little bit of business here. And tell us a little bit about how your year or the last year and a half have gone, because it's been quite a while since myself and you have been on a SciCon together.
Certainly has. I think I did 3 years of Brain to Books, managing and doing the narrations as well. So what's happened this year? Writing wise, had publishing contracts for my Illusional Reality, which is a clean young adult fantasy paranormal romance. And it took 2 years to do a rewrite because the publisher wanted me to write the book again in a different voice. It was in first person, I think, and then she wanted me to do it in Deep Pov. So both books got republished, rewritten, and that took 2 years before they came out. They're now both on Kindle, both on Kindle Unlimited, and right beside me in beautiful paperback. And also the book for the box set, which is the 2 books in one, is available on Kindle Unlimited and also available to buy on paperback. So that happened. And then I did a collaboration with another author. We did a dystopian sci-fi. And I wanted to turn it into erotica, which would have been very unusual genres to mix together. And she wanted to keep hers clean. So we did what I think no one else has done before. And 2 authors, 2 of the same book, but one clean and one erotica. And that gives the reader a choice of what they want to read, whether they want some spice in their life or whether they want it behind the closed doors. And we started work on book 2 of Toxic June this year, and we're nearly finished the first draft. So that's going really well. We enjoy working together. And again, it's going to be mine's going to be erotica and hers is going to be the clean version. And it's going to be a trilogy, so we already know what book 3 is going to be. So that's quite exciting. And then, I know I haven't stopped writing. Then I tried doing something different. I had this idea for this new book, and again, it's a totally new genre. For me, I write in every single genre you can find. And this genre is very dark romance, mafia thriller. Lots of violence, lots of sexual violence in it as well. It's dark, gritty, but it's very truthful. It's not. It's entertaining because it's a novel, but it's dark. Anyway, so what I wanted to do with that, instead of just writing it out and doing the first draft and editing it and giving it to the editor, I went onto Wattpad, signed up on an account, actually put the whole of my book on there. Every chapter I was writing, I was loading it onto Wattpad, getting comments, getting likes, getting votes, whatever. The first draft, the original, will stay on Wattpad, and now I'm working on editing the first draft before it goes then to a real editor. And so it was on Wattpad, and then I saw everyone talking about this place called Inkit, and it's very similar to Wattpad, but they also, if you get enough likes and enough votes, they can actually publish your book. And the thing that they do is before it actually gets made public, someone from the Inkit team actually read the book. They actually read it to see if it's suitable for their site. And I think that's fantastic for someone to do that. So I started putting the chapters on Inkit. I've got 967 reads on Wattpad for Broken Chains, and on Inkit I have 2,500 reads. That's a big difference. It shows. I don't know if it's the genre of the book that has enticed people. Maybe the people over in Inkit want to read that kind of book, but that's like nearly 3 times the amount of views and reads that I've had from Wattpad. Anyway, so I did that, and then I started narrating every chapter that I was writing. So you can go over to my YouTube channel, Karina Gantus, and look for the Broken Chains, and it's all in the channel by itself, playlist. And I then put chapters in my monthly newsletter. So I was allowing the public to read my work 3 different ways without it being edited, without it being published. And that's the first time I've ever really opened myself up like that, because normally I just write and then publish a book and then promote it. So doing it that way was very interesting, and I don't know if I'll do it again, but I don't know if it's helped either. But so, some of the comments, some of the likes, but it's just a new way of marketing myself. We've got so much competition over with everyone using virtual media now to promote their books, that you just got to think out of the box. And so I was trying to think out of the box and put my writing out there before it's even published and see if people like my work. My Facebook and my Amazon and all my covers of all my actual published work is on my profile on Wattpad. So I'm still promoting my normal books as well as promoting a unpublished novel. So yeah, so that's what I've been up to.
Oh, very, very cool. I myself have been swamped. On top of my full-time job, I decided to go back to college this year.
Oh wow.
So a month before COVID and the big shutdown, I started school at Southern New Hampshire University over in New Hampshire for my Bachelor Arts degree in creative writing and English with fiction concentration. It is in hopes that with my degree that I would be able to become an editor, and that's one of the main jobs that you can get with this degree. So I'm kind of hoping to get some field study in and get some internship, do some pro bono stuff on the side as I am finishing my degree, so that I build somewhat of a portfolio.
Yeah.
I'm looking at trying to get on like our online newspaper at school and stuff like that. I haven't
cool.
yet, just because I'm still juggling with work and school and home and everything else. So I haven't been able to reach out and actually find out the details on how to go about doing that. But that's kind of my goal. And if we don't have an online newspaper, well, then I'm going to try to get some fellow writers and authors and other things that are in the same degree that I'm in, English majors, to maybe create one that will go on our school portal, providing we can do such a thing. So that way I get some editing background, so that when I graduate, my goal is to open my own editing agency. I have already opened the publishing house. That's up and running. I signed my first author last month, S.L. Goyette, with a book of poetry.
Congratulations.
And looking forward to signing some more authors. I kind of think, because it's going to take me a little bit of time. And of course, with time juggling with work and school and everything, I don't want to go in overboard and then not be able to take care of the authors the way a publishing house should, and stuff. So I'm going to try for like 2 or 3 a year,
Exactly.
just to get my feet wet, to get the relationships, to get the contracts down correctly the way they should be, to make sure they're getting their fair share of royalties, and as the publishing house is, and get all the kinks worked out and build the relationships. And then when I graduate and move to Florida permanently, my wife and I are going to, after I graduate and my daughter graduates high school, we're going to sell the house and move to Florida. So our end goal, my wife and I have decided to run an editing agency, a publishing house, and a design company. which where the design company will design websites, logos, book covers, definitely some freelance work with some other, great designers and, authors that do design, and stuff like that. I want to just give back, on top of doing my own writing, doing my own publishing, at that time. So it's kind of like a semi-retirement for me because it's going to be doing what I love. I'm going to be running 3 different small businesses, doing absolutely everything that I love, working with other authors and helping them get published and edited and get a decent book cover for them and stuff like that. Get them a good website.
I wish you all the best with it. And just don't take on too much and get overloaded, I know you have a problem saying no, so.
Yes, I do. and it gets tough. It does, and I've had a really busy summer and spring. Right at the beginning of the COVID, we had a terrible family loss. I lost my baby sister. It wasn't COVID related. It was something else. But we lost her, 37 years old. So that was kind of rough. My dad had moved in with us. So on top of juggling, going back to work, being an essential worker, going back to college full time, dealing with COVID-19 as a firefighter and EMT in my local fire department, being a husband, being a father, and being a son all at once, and trying to find a way to pass school. It's been a challenge.
Yeah,
It really has been. The only writing I have done are essays.
What an easy life.
I've done a lot of essays, and actually a couple of them I think I might snag and publish over on my blog. My essay for my English Composition 2 class that I just finished, that was the one hardest struggle, but I did get a good essay out of it. I got an A- on it, but the entire essay is on ebook piracy. And stuff like that. So I think I'm going to, copy and paste, fluff it up. And I might even do something where I bring in another author as a guest poster to just kind of give me their insight on how they feel and what their opinions are, based on the research on, ebook piracy and all of that kind of stuff. And just do like a 2-3 week post. I kind of like dedicate one full month work because I want to get back to posting weekly on my blog. So I think I want to do it like 4 weeks in a row, dedicate it with a couple different authors to really just, hone this whole subject in on ebook
As I said,
piracy.
Richard, as I said, be careful what you take on.
Oh, yeah.
Be careful what you're taking on.
Well, luckily enough,
you do too much, you're giving yourself much, then that in turn turns into stress.
Right. Well, luckily enough, my end of it's already complete because I have my essay to basically copy and paste, show my references and all that, because it is a research academic essay. So it does have resources and such. But at the same time, I can reach out to a couple of people and say, hey, what's your opinion on this subject? Write me a blog, and just send it to me. So then I just it's basically copy and paste from, their insight on the subject just to add to what I've already posted. So it'll be kind of like a follow-up, and it'll be guest blogs. So I won't have as much work to do. It's basically pasting, sharing, scheduled posts, and a couple of images to, fluff it up.
Richard.
It's okay. I got a monster. I'm good to go. I can't believe purple cans disappear on this thing. My purple can disappears, but my red cup doesn't. Well, I guess it does. Well, it didn't this morning. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, so I haven't been able to create much. I've had to take a little bit of a backseat, but I got to say I'm kind of happy with it. And the only reason I say that is because what I've learned so far in school, I have improved my writing so much, taking these
Yeah, of course it will.
English and humanity courses, and including my liberal arts course with the essays and stuff that I'm writing, and learning how to use a reverse outline and different strategies on how to edit and do rewrites and more, and really dig down into doing things. Like right now I'm in a math course and we're writing an essay based on a subject we chose, which I chose a Fibonacci sequence. But the cool thing about how we're doing it is each week we're writing a section of the essay. So we're not writing a full essay and then processing it through 8 weeks. We're building the essay, each individual section, then bring it together, do a reverse outline, then do the edits and rewrites, and then submit it on week 7. So doing it that way, I actually have learned so much more about writing and how to write better. So I think that's going to help me in the long run, obviously, with my writing. So when I pick up where I left off with my novels and the research that I have there, I really think that it's going to really blossom my storylines. It's going to build my plot and climax as a whole lot more. It's going to help my character building. It's going to help everything. So I think taking the back seat from writing and just working on getting the education and learning more about my craft is actually going to make me, so much better of a writer, and, being able to help others as they write.
I've learned so much from my editor. My writing has improved, and I've learned deep pov I'd never heard of before, and I had such a tough time with it. And she says, you're really good at writing in first person. So she said, write it in first person and then take off the I and put she. And so I did it that way. And then this book, Broken Chains, I've done it in deep pov without even having to think about it. It's come automatically now to me of how to write in deep pov. Which for me just allows the reader to really into the emotions of the character. It allows the scenes to come more alive than in another way of writing your book. It just gives more depth into your novel when you write in deep pov, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm that's one of the things I'm big on learning, because when I'm writing the academic thing, they want me to write it in that sense and not as much passive voice. And I'm in passive voice, and I'm always in, like you said, the first person. I, we, you. And that's the one big thing. It's like, okay, how do I restructure that sentence so I can take the I out of it, or the we, or the he, or the she. And I visited, we have a writing center and a couple of different tools to use at school. We have writing coaches, and then we have the writing center, where we can get into live video conferences with different professors or a group of students.
That's cool.
And really just go through everything and learn those things. And I've done a couple of visits with writing coaches, so it's one-on-one. I haven't done the group setting just yet. Oh, we got some ding dings, so somebody's joining. No, I guess that wasn't me. Somebody was dinging.
Not on my end.
Not real sure what that was all about. But anyways, being able to sit down with a writing coach and one-on-one and just go through everything has helped me so much. And I'm learning that, I'm really learning that second set of eyes helps a lot. There we go. Here comes Anita. I knew somebody was waiting. There she is. What a snafu we've had today. It's been awesome.
Hi.
There you are. What a snafu we've had today. It's been awesome. But I think we figured it out.
Okay. I'm getting a weird repeat, but can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
Okay.
Do you have like YouTube or Twitch already on or something?
Possibly. Just hang on a minute.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm still on Twitch. Okay. I thought I turned that off. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's been my day too. So things have not been going well.
Friday the 13th, Gremlins.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
Now, what time
Everything will be fine tomorrow.
What time is your first thing? Don't you have one tonight? Is that the 9 o'clock?
That's 9 p.m. Eastern. So
okay, excellent. I'm going to jump in.
I had that scheduled late because one of our guest panelists is from Australia, so I had to accommodate the time.
Oh, very cool, very cool. Well, I plan on jumping in on it at least as a. I want to sit and listen. I'm gonna be like a person back there. I'll put it on mute and just unless I need to include my insight. But when it comes to world building, I don't have much, or at least I don't think I have much. So I might figure out I know all sorts of stuff.
Well, I hope you'll join us as one of the panelists on the Saturday 5:30 one because that one's going to be world building from reality. And I thought you might have an interesting perspective on that because you were writing that thriller novel or at least doing the research for it. So
yes. Yep.
So I'd love to have you as a panelist on that because I thought it would be interesting because that's kind of we're kind of going across the genres on that. I'm not sure because I'm going to be on it. There's another horror writer and I think there's an urban fantasy one coming on as well. So,
well, also when it comes to a subject like that, historical fiction plays huge in that.
Yeah. So I thought you could be you'd be a good panelist for that. Anyway, but yeah, tonight is YA, so I know nothing about YA, but that will be fun.
I don't know too much about it myself, other than sparkling vampires. And
do you know what YA is? YA is exactly what you write, but take off the horror.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is why I don't know much about it. Because I can't take off the
Tone
horror.
it down. It can be any
but
you can't. No, of course not.
Yeah, but luckily we have two YA experts on the panel with J.K. Allen and A.A. Warren. They have both written YA books, and so they know a lot more than I do. So, and I'm only the host. So,
don't you like being a host? You host it, ask them a few questions, and you sit back and let them talk.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about being a host. Okay, yeah. You all do the talking.
Yeah, as long as they're talkative. Sometimes they're not so talkative, but
yeah, it's trying to get them talking. So, well, yeah. I tell you what, I need to eat my dinner, so I'm going to make you the host, Karina, so I can step out and eat my dinner and do a couple of things, and then I'll be back in on. what I'm doing, all I'm going to do is just shut my video off and so on and so forth. But other than that, I'll be back in like 5-10 minutes. I just need to eat something because I haven't eaten all day long.
Go eat and take your time. We'll be here.
So I'm going to make you the host. And then I am going to just duck on out on some video. And
Okay, that worked.
Well, that's good. Yeah, so I managed to get a little writing in while I was waiting for the car maintenance this afternoon. So got a little
Right.
work done for the NaNoWriMo today.
That's good. Well done. It's amazing you can fit everything in at the same time.
Yeah, well, I got nothing to do but wait in the waiting room with the mask on while I was waiting for the car tires to get changed because we have to. It's winter car tire time over here in Canada. Get the oil changed while I'm at it. So I was just writing in my little notebook, hoping the other people at the store didn't think I was nuts.
I had my show went out at 1 p.m. EST, and I had two authors, Tina Helmuth, who was what can we call her? She is a thriller author who writes about actual events that have occurred or are happening. And then Denise Turney, who was a non-fiction and fiction author. And both of them were just so bubbly and so positive and such a joy to talk with. They were so hyper. And it was a really, really good show. It went down really well. I don't know what the numbers will be until next week, but and it was good music as well. I got this UK band I had featuring their debut single. And have you ever, I don't know if you watched it because I know you love horror, Stranger Things?
No, I have not watched it yet. I only recently got Netflix like last year, so I haven't. I'm still catching up with all the trendy shows over there.
I got to season 1 and couldn't watch it anymore, and my 17-year-old daughter, she went right through and is waiting now for to film and get the next series out. But it's a 2020 series, but it's actually based in the 80s. So you've got 80s music, you've got 80s clothing. It's so nostalgic. It's also, I'm an 80s girl, me.
Yeah.
So this group had this debut song called Upside Down. And for those that know Stranger Things, Upside Down is where the evil comes from the ground upwards into their reality. And so played their song, and the group is called Cannon Beach, and Cannon Beach was actually one of the places filmed for the Goonies, which is an 80s film. And there's a theme going on there. And what it is, this group is making songs and performing songs to do with 80s TV shows, 80s films, and 80s video games. So they've got a lot of new stuff coming out on YouTube soon. And I'm really, really excited to see what they do next, because Upside Down was a fantastic song, very catchy tune. And it's such a unique thing to do, I think, what they've done. I mean, I speak to a lot of rock bands, and I have one featured on my show every time, an indie rock band. And this is, I've never heard of anything like this before. So I'm hoping that because they're doing something different and that they're really, really good as well. They're very, very talented musicians and lyricists. And wishing them all the best. But yes, you need to check out Stranger Things because that is your cup of tea.
Yeah, it's on the list. Yeah, so many things are on the list.
So what's at the top of the list at the moment on Netflix you're watching?
Well, it's I finished watching The Witcher first of all because I think I'm on episode 4, the first season. So yeah, and I have to finish watching The Willoughbys too because that is I didn't have enough time to finish it on Halloween, so I have to get back and finish watching that. It's a cartoon. It's really kind of dark humor cartoon about these kids that send their parents off on a vacation hoping they'll die.
It's quite dark.
Well, to be fair, the parents are terrible people. I mean, they're really, really terrible people. I mean, when they send them up, I just kind of wishing they won't come back either. Anyway, so yeah, and
it's anime.
What?
Is it anime?
No, it's not anime. It's just straight animation. So yeah, I'm not sure who made it though, but anyway, it's fun. It was a fun movie up to the point where I had to go because it was getting late and I couldn't finish it. But yeah, I gotta get back and watch it.
Funny, I've got Netflix over here, and Netflix that you see, we have different things. So some films won't be on yours, some films won't be on mine. And so when they advertise something, you're like, oh God, yeah, I want to go and see that. And you check it on Netflix, it's not there, but they advertise it because it's on the American Netflix.
Yeah. Canada doesn't always get what we get. A lot of stuff America gets, but the licensing sometimes does not allow for it to be in Canada, or it comes to Canada later. A lot of times too, because they have a certain licensing for the U.S. and then Canada's allowed to see it like 6 months later or something. So it's all in the licensing. And it's the same with the streaming, some of the streaming services like the CBS Access. I think that's the streaming one for CBS. Like we don't get that in Canada. So we get the shows from like the Star Trek shows straight onto our CTV Sci-Fi network. So we don't have to stream. I mean, they're straight into the cable. So there are advantages. Cool. Yeah, there are advantages sometimes too. And the same with some of the DC superhero shows that they had there last year, like the Swamp Thing and a couple of other ones. They went straight into some of the cable networks here in Canada.
I remember what I started watching, and it was supposed to be a bit like X-Men, but children with these powers.
New Mutants?
Descendants, was it called?
Oh yeah, that was the one, and that was on Hulu. Was it on Hulu? Yeah, we got that on cable here too.
It, and my youngest, who's 11, was in the room, and some of the stuff I was like, I can't watch it with you being here. So I had to stop watching it because it was just so dark and violent. And that was really surprising. But so many series from DC and Marvel and all that come out from the films. So many of them now.
Yeah, superheroes are big.
Superheroes are big, but so are the supervillains. They're taking over.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's one I haven't seen yet is The Boys. I really do want to watch that because I'm a big Carl Urban fan. But I don't have Amazon Prime, so yeah, so it kind of sucks.
Sure, we can find it online for you. One of these streaming places that you should never go to.
Yeah, no.
Which I use every time I can't find something on Netflix.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of hoping Amazon will eventually put it on DVD, Blu-ray, something like that, or maybe one of these days I'll actually go and get Amazon Prime, or maybe I'll just do the Amazon Prime trial and binge watch it, and then just Not.
Yeah, you could do that to do the trial. It doesn't cost anything.
Mm. Yeah, but I mean, there are so many streaming services these days. You can't afford them all, so you got to pick and choose which ones you want.
We don't have a whole lot of choice here in Greece. Never even had Netflix. It's my dad that bought my youngest Fire Stick that you put into the TV that gives you then Netflix once you pay every month. And that was her birthday present. But so she could watch all the cartoons and everything, and all of Disney films and what have you. And then we got a smart TV, so we didn't need the Fire Stick. And but satellite, yeah, we don't get a lot of choice. Even on the smart TV, we have YouTube, Netflix, and a couple of others, and that's your lot.
Mm.
But then I hardly ever watch TV anyway. Before we got Netflix, that telly hadn't been on for nearly 6 months. Because everything we were watching online from our computers. So the telly never went on.
Yeah, I don't watch as much television as I used to either. I mean, and COVID with all the the shows on hiatus, it's kind of like even less now. And it's kind of like I've got about a watching the television habit. And it's like now I have to make an effort to remember that the shows are actually on if I want to watch them.
Yeah, I suppose many actual live shows, live filming and chat shows and quizzes and stuff, that they must be reruns now because they can't.
Yeah. There's some. I think there's some new seasons of. There's some shows I think that may have been filmed before because there are a couple of new pilots. New shows on, so they may have actually already been filmed and they're just showing them for the new season. But there are a couple of shows, like the CBS shows, have started new seasons, and they like SWAT has actually integrated the reality with the show, so that was interesting. Okay, that's odd. I just got a notification from one of my games in Russian, I think. I hope the computer has not changed my language. That's just weird. I don't what the it's like the notification popped up from, I got a couple of PC games that I play to relax, and it just popped up with the language I think is Russian. I don't know.
Well, Richard and Joe were talking about being inundated with these Russians last time they came on Zoom. I have no idea what happened, but they just got all these Russians coming on to their their program.
Well, Richard shared the link on Twitter. So yeah. Never share a join link on Twitter. That's for sure.
Oh my God! No wonder.
Yeah, I like Twitter well enough, but yeah, it's full of spammers, porn bots, and scammers.
Twitter is a dump and run. That's what it is. It's a rubbish dump.
Well, no, there's some good places on Twitter, like the writer side of it with the writer tags and the tag games and the writer community hashtags. That's pretty good place to be.
With them.
But avoid the politics, avoid the religion, and and learn how to recognize the click farm scammers and the creepy guys.
Just post and run. Use the hashtags and hope people see the promos. It's Twitter is never been what it was supposed to have been.
No.
It was supposed to have been like, what's the other one? I can't remember the name of the other one, where you just leave a one sentence of what you're up to or what you're doing, and that's what Twitter was supposed to be, a social network, as Facebook used to be, was supposed to have been. But things change. We took over. You know, when I write Facebook, I put capital B, because as far as I'm concerned, it's the authors that made that place. Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, right now I'm just kind of fighting the new Facebook design. I hate that thing.
Oh, I'm getting off it. As soon as it gives me the chance to switch for the 48 hours, I'm clicking that button so quickly.
That's what I do. Every time it changes me back, I go to my group or my page and I switch back, and then I send them feedback saying it still sucks.
Yeah, that's exactly my wording. It sucks.
I said, yeah.
Sticks on certain things. It's too big. It's too bold. It's horrible.
I told them they should fire the designer.
Why they think that was better than the original?
Yeah, I mean, I could see them wanting to change the design up, but there's no contrast on the new design. It's all like white and there's no, and it's all just like I told them, it's all like nursery room images. There's no wording. There's no way. I mean, you have to actually hover over these little icons to see what they are. I mean, that's ridiculous.
So many times I've tried to do a post and the actual place where you write just wasn't there. It gave you a chance to put a photo, but there was nowhere to actually write. And I'm like, no, changing back to the original, please.
Yeah, I mean, they're just doubling down on the bad design instead of actually listening to people and fixing it. But that's Facebook.
I mean, that was supposed to have been changed this month completely, but I think they've had so many complaints.
Yeah, I mean,
if they had any sense, they'd just dump it and leave it as the original.
Yeah, because I mean, I've heard people. I think I've heard of all the people I've been talking about. I've heard like one person who said, "You get used to it." That was his praise on it. You know, he said, "You get used to it after a while." I mean, that's not high praise for a new design for a website.
No,
everybody else says
Facebook
they hate
isn't the only place. I mean, WordPress, they've changed their face as well.
Yeah, their editor, their block editor. But at least with WordPress,
WordPress and MailChimp.
Don't get me started on MailChimp. WordPress at least listened to the complaints that people were complaining about, and they've actually adjusted some of the new editor and some of the blocks and stuff. And it is a little easier to actually work now. I mean, it's still not great.
I've got it now. I know what I'm doing on there now. It's just, I didn't even know they were thinking about changing it. I've just come on one day and I was like, what the?
Yeah.
Facebook did it, and now WordPress had done it, and then MailChimp have done it, and
yeah, and Blogger did it too, and
really,
and they did a terrible job. They took a very good editor in Blogger that was, I mean, it could have used some improvement, sure, but they pretty much ruined it. But they fixed a lot of the problems with that now, but it's still not.
You've got to listen to the public. You know, if the public tell you it sucks, you've got to listen to them. Yeah. Majority.
I mean, they take something that's easy to use, but maybe isn't as doesn't have as many bells and whistles as it could, and then they put in the bells and whistles, but they take away all the stuff that was easy to use when they do it, which is ridiculous. I mean, yeah, keep the easy to use part, companies. Okay, if any companies are out there listening, thinking of doing a web redesign, if there's stuff easy to use on your site, keep it. You know, we like easy to use things when we're working with editors and stuff like that.
Practical.
Yes.
Practicality.
Yes. I mean,
Easy
give
to
us the
use.
bells and whistles, fine and dandy, but keep the easy to use part.
We want the child-proof stuff.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
child
that's true
can
though.
do
But I
it.
mean, you should do the childproof
That's
stuff
what we want.
because yeah, you should have the basic childproof stuff for the new people who are coming onto your sites to use it. But
Mhm.
you should also have the stuff for the more advanced users. I mean, and there's no reason why you can't meld the two into a working thing. They just don't take the time.
Exactly.
And then they upset everybody. But yeah, I mean, part of it.
Oh,
I think
anyone who's listening out there now, the my MC thriller vigilante sexy book Lawless Justice is free tomorrow, which is actually today because we're now nearly 20 to 2 in the morning here. But tomorrow, as in the 14th and the 15th, you can go over to Amazon and you can download Lawless Justice if you like that kind of thing, because expect violence and expect a lot of it. But it's a thriller and it's a vigilante and it's a fun read. So go out and download Lawless Justice tomorrow. There you go. Had to get that out.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I think a lot of thriller readers like the violence. That's kind of weird to say, but I think readers understand.
Yeah, I mean, if you downloading a book about gangsters or motorcycle clubs or mafia, you are going to read a violent book. It's obvious, unless it's a comedy. So for someone to then leave a review and say, "Oh, it wasn't my cup of tea," or "I didn't enjoy it," or "I don't like this genre," I'm like, read the blurb before you download a book.
I don't get those reviews. I mean, I don't have anything against people not liking, say, horror genre. I mean, that's fine. Not everybody likes horror. I mean, there's genres I don't like, but I make it pretty obvious in the blurb. I mean, I've even got a warning on my two books now. One may have disturbing scenes on nightmare visions and nightmares, and the Camelot Immortals has one for has offensive language because it does a lot of it.
Let me just interrupt here. This is what I don't get. You see, we have to do that. Why do we independent authors have to put warnings on our books when best-selling authors that have always have violence in their books, in their thrillers or what have you, have never put warnings on their books? So why should we have to do that?
Because we don't have the Teflon coating that the big names do, and that's the bottom line of it. We kind of live and die on reputations and reviews. So yeah,
so unfair.
It's not fair, and I never used to, but I did with Visions and Nightmares because there was one particular story in that book that might be a trigger for some people, and I didn't want to upset people who might want to buy the book, and then have that scene and be triggered by it. So that's why I put has disturbing scenes in it. And the offensive language one I did because, there's a lot of swearing in that book. And I don't usually do that much. So I just stuck that on.
You wanted to warn your readers.
Yeah. And actually, I've had more people say, "Ooh, I want to buy that book. It's got offensive language in it." And I've had other people not buy it. So it's actually helped.
I've ever done a warning is when I've done a reading from one of my books and I'll say, are you under the age of 18? Are you easily offended? Please switch off now. And that's the only warning you'll get off me, because I won't put a warning for my books. My blurbs and my reviews should tell people what they're going to be reading.
Yeah, they do. But with the Arthurian genre, there's a lot of young adult Arthurian out there too, so I kind of wanted to put that on to make sure kids didn't pick it up thinking, oh, it's Arthurian, right? Because kids shouldn't read it.
If it says YA, then sex, violence, swearing should be.
It's not. Yeah, my books aren't YA, and there's no YA categories. I've not put it in any YA categories. I will not put my books in YA categories because YA people should not read my books.
Exactly, but then you have young people reading stuff like Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunters, or let's say, what was her name? Someone else that was talking about sex with fays. And these are like 14, 15-year-olds reading stuff that would be classed as an 18-year-old novel, because it's under as a YA when it should never be allowed to be in YA. I've been shocked by some YA books with the amount of sexual scenes in them that just blew my mind, you know.
Yeah.
YA, young adult, it's obvious what you should be reading. I mean, young people, especially girls, they're readers and they mature so much quicker, and so they're into more mature books and want to watch more mature films, and they shouldn't be at their age, but they do. But yeah, YA. I mean, I think I've got 3 books that are YA, and one of them I've had to say is a mature YA. Is there such thing as a mature YA? No, but because I've just discovered it and called my book it, because it's still for young adults, but they're not graphic scenes, but the subjects are a bit more mature, let's put it that way. So it's knowing where to draw the line. That's a difficult part.
Yeah.
What crosses from young adult to an adult book, or young adult to a new adult book? There's a fine line there.
Yeah, it's the same way with horror. I mean, not with the young adult, new adult, but you have to pay attention to the lines, because there's some things you don't want to cross over. I mean, there's some things you can go crazy with, and then but there's some subjects you have to be careful on. You have to tread lightly on when you're doing horror too. So yeah, you got to figure it out as you write it. And sometimes you have to, when you're editing, you have to dial it back a little bit.
I mean, the Stone Cold, which is a young adult supernatural thriller, I brutally kill off so many of the characters. My main character brutally kills them off. It's not graphic as such, but you can picture what's going on. The reader can picture what's going on, but it still makes it young adult because they love that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it's odd with young adult. At least I've sat in some discussions, and violence is more acceptable in young adult books than sex is.
It is,
which I don't get, but
no, it is. That's right. But I mean, if the characters are in that age bracket of young adult, that makes your book a young adult book. If the plot and the storyline in your book is clean, then it can become a young adult, even if your characters are older than young adults. So there's, like I said, it works both ways.
Yeah, and young adults an easy market to market too. So that's why a lot of authors want to get in on it.
Huge market.
Mm.
All right, I'm back for a few minutes anyway.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
I am trying to get this thing shared abroad here. That's kind of what I was doing after I got things messaged out, and I started a group for LitCon over on MeWe.
Oh, you
I'm
did?
actually I moved some stuff to the new social media MeWe, only because of the fact I was listening to you ladies talking about the new updates to Facebook, and I am grossly grotesque over the whole mess. And yes, whomever their designer is needs to be fired. That's my personal opinion, of course. But
Agreed.
I don't really like the new setup. I just don't.
No.
I don't know why. I just don't really care for it.
Nobody does.
No, it's hard when you're on a desktop, that new setup too. It's just
Well, yeah, because what they did was made the desktop app make it look more mobile.
yeah, exactly.
So it's almost like you're looking at a giant ass phone. And it's like you're trying to, and it's just the navigation thing. It's like I'm constantly, one of the reasons I'm having an issue this week, is just trying to figure out how to navigate. We've had membership requests for the LitCon Cyber Convention group for like weeks now, and I didn't know how to get in there and do it. I literally had to, I had to go on the phone and make someone else an admin just so they could go in and improve them because I couldn't find them.
Yeah. Well, if you're a group admin and a page admin, you can switch back over to the regular Facebook.
Well, how?
You should go into the group, go into your page. You should see a switch back to the original Facebook button.
I haven't seen that.
On the left-hand side of the page is the switch back to original.
It's a big blue button.
You cannot miss it. We press it every day.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that button at all. Customize group. Now you got me searching. Because I would
every time it switches me, I go right back to my page or my group and go bing. Get this annoying design away from me.
Display compact. Make the font size smaller. Dark mode. Nope. I'll have to look
on the
into
left-hand side. On the left-hand side.
Let's see if I. Boy. That's my. Now, is that where I'm actually where I'm in the page?
Yeah, you have to go on the page. Sometimes it takes about a few seconds for it to pop up. So.
Yeah, the only blue button I got is promote.
No, it's not that one.
Forget about that.
Page quality?
Press that.
No, it's not part of the page. It sort of pops up when you go into the page. But you've been using it for a while, so I don't know, maybe you don't get it after you've used it for a while.
Yeah, maybe. Like I said, I didn't know I could do that, so.
No, you will.
Yeah.
You will. Try different pages, try different groups. It will come up.
Yeah. Are you an admin on any group that you haven't gone into recently?
Oh yeah, shoot, yeah.
Well, go into that and see if it pops up there.
Okay.
If you've been using something for a while, maybe it won't pop up, but if you haven't been, it might.
Let's see. We'll go to something I haven't been in for a while.
But you have to be an admin in that group. You just can't be a member.
Right. Okay. Not seeing anything. Nothing pop up yet. Member approvals pending post. No blue buttons at all.
Well, maybe if you've been using it for a while, they don't give you the switch back button. They've decided you're satisfied with it, I guess. Even if you're
Like, I wish I'd have known that long time ago because I'd be switching back.
yeah, and and Facebook, the Facebook Purity app that I use that gets rid of all the annoying Facebook stuff. They've been fighting the new design too, and trying to get a way to switch back, but Facebook keeps closing the loopholes on them, so they're fighting a losing battle with it too. So Facebook's determined to roll out this new design. I don't know why, but I mean, I can see why they want to streamline it a little bit for mobile. I mean, that makes sense, but to do it that radically, because not everybody uses mobile on Facebook. I mean, a lot of people still use laptops, and some people like me still use desktops. So, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense to kind of exclude those users. I think they're trying to bring back the young group that's gone over to Instagram. I mean,
Right.
they still own Instagram, but I think they're trying to woo back the younger people. Though delete Facebook was trending again on Twitter today. So,
How do you feel about the MeWe site, Richard? Because I've had many notices about joining.
I'm
And
over
I've just
there.
ignored them.
So far, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm very brand new to the whole thing. But so far I do like it. I mean, it's more simplified,
Yeah.
but you have a lot of the same features. The groups run similar to the old way. I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of it's kind of like original Facebook, like way back when it first started. So
Yeah.
it's a little more simpler and simplified. Finding friends is a little tricky unless you know them, know their username, or you get the link there that people can share that says, Richard White has invited you to join MeWe, and then it usually clicks in and pops right up and connects the two of you once somebody once they do that. But I
think Jim Govern's waiting in the room?
Yeah, I was on MeWe for a while. I mean, like Richard said, it's not a bad site. I just didn't go over there a lot. I didn't spend a lot of time. There wasn't a lot of interaction things going on.
I was waiting for it to grow before going over and making an account, because if it's another place to promote and be allowed to promote my work, then why not?
Well, that's the one good thing about it so far, as I understand it. MeWe does not have the algorithms set up like Facebook does. It doesn't. In fact, when you share it, it's the next gen social media, brilliant features with no BS, no ads, no spyware. MeWe is the next generation social network. That's literally.
I could be wrong, but I think they do charge for pages, though.
Well, yes, they do charge for pages. To have a page, it's like $1.99 a month. And then to have and you can upgrade to a paid profile as well, which I think is $4.99 a month.
They didn't charge when they first started.
Well, no, you can join for free, and you can get a profile, and you can have a group for free.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, you can have a free profile, and you can have a free group, or you can have. I don't know. It doesn't tell me you can't have more than one group. But the subscriptions you can add to it to get more features and more stuff. Can do.
But that's the one I didn't like about it. It's not that it's bad. Like I said, it's but there wasn't a lot of stuff that was on the free plan. It was just very basic. And I didn't see a lot of interaction. I didn't see a lot of people, you know, messaging or so. I mean, if you find a group maybe that has a lot of interaction, it would be okay. But I think you kind of have to spend a lot of time there and find these things.
Right.
And
Yeah, I'm gonna.
and
it
that
a little
really,
bit longer.
I didn't really have time to invest in that, so I kind of left.
Yeah, I've found 3 groups so far. The one group I'm in is just writing. That one sounds off constantly. They have a, and then the other, there is a couple of neat features that groups have over there that Facebook doesn't. Like you have a group chat, so you can chat within the group without posting it on the wall, which Facebook doesn't have.
They
And
kinda
Facebook
do.
does have those rooms now.
Yeah, you can have group chat rooms.
oh
Yeah,
well,
they've
you,
just come out.
which I think that's the rooms, right? Which is,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it does have the, you have the rooms, but then it's mostly geared towards the video, on video chat that I have seen.
oh, you mean text chat? They have text chat rooms.
But yeah, you can have, it's which, and I'm not sure how, you know, how extensive you can go with it. Only because like today I just created the LitCon group. So I don't know, I don't know, all the parameters of what you can do and use with it.
Hey, Jim.
Hello, how's it going? Had some stuff going on this afternoon, so had to bow for a few hours, but I am back for
Yeah,
probably
me
the-
too.
Yeah. I had stuff too, so I had to go do my car maintenance for winter. So
Yeah, winter is coming.
yes, we don't like to think about it, do we?
Probably, I
Here we go.
concur with that sentiment.
Yeah, at least the winter tires are on, so if the snow does come, I'm ready. So hopefully it
What
won't
was
come
that?
till January. So
Well, hopefully so. How do you spell that MeWe you guys were talking about? Is it just literally
MEWE.
MeWe.
yeah,
Okay, just like it
Yep,
sounds.
MEWE.com. And as
Yeah.
far as I know, I can't remember, but I believe MeWe is owned by Wikipedia.
yeah, it's owned by somebody.
You guys talking about them charging actually makes me feel better about it, because if you're not actually paying anything, then you're the product anyway. So that actually is
That's-
heartening that they
That's
charge.
true. That's true.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, I've got nothing against them charging. I mean, because I like sites that do that. You know, they have a free plan, and if it's a decent free plan, you know, and they're not just like not paying attention to their free customers, and then they have upgrades, that's fine. I mean, that's a good business plan in my opinion. Anyway, it's just that I've got so many other sites that MeWe was just one that I'd had to invest a lot of time in that I
Mhm.
really didn't have time for. So that's kind of why I left. It's not that the site was bad. It's just I just really didn't have time for it. It's like
That's-
TikTok. Everyone says go on TikTok. It's like no, don't have time for TikTok.
I can't
Totally
see
get
you
that.
on TikTok, Anita. Sorry.
No, see this is the thing. TikTok's not me. And
Gotta know who you
Snapchat,
are.
that's another one. No,
I'm
no,
on it.
I never going to go on Snapchat.
No, I haven't
Snapstagram.
got Snapchat.
I mean, I barely managed to have a
cope
presence
with the
on
ones you've
Instagram.
got.
I mean, I do. I barely managed to have a presence on Instagram. I'm not much for pictures and posting. I mean, I post mostly my graphics and stuff over there, and maybe a couple of pictures of stuff I get, like my marker set. I posted that because I was proud I got my alcohol markers to do my drawing. So yeah, I tested them out the other week. Made myself a little flower.
Like a dry erase thing, or is it like Sharpie?
No, it's alcohol. Just let me get them. They're over here somewhere. Just give me a sec. They're
Me.
see, big F. And of course the zipper's stuck. Isn't that there we go. Yeah,
That's
see they're like you see that?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're markers. These are like if you listen to the artists talk about alcohol markers, most of the times they'll talk about the brand, the Copic markers. So that's the really big expensive one. These are some of the less expensive ones, but they're still pretty good. So, yeah. Anyway, so I'm teaching myself how to use alcohol markers, and I got a watercolor marker set too, which might be easier for me because I'm used to watercolor paints. But
Makes
anyway,
sense.
and hopefully I got the right paper for the alcohol markers, because you want to get alcohol paper because the alcohol markers will bleed through normal paper. What?
Alcohol paper.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So specially designed paper for alcohol markers. So to clarify, because
Can I get drunk on this now?
yeah, because the more alcohol-based markers will bleed through normal paper. So you need something that won't bleed through.
The alcohol will eat it up.
It's just like like when you're using watercolors and watercolor-based markers, you need watercolor paper for that. Otherwise, the paper will rip. The surface of the paper will rip from the watercolor, and it will
I
buckle.
use any paper for oil or watercolors. I just
Well,
use
you
anything
can.
that's
It's just
around.
you get a better result if you use the watercolor paper. I mean,
I
I've used
agree. There you go. Yes.
I've used regular paper as practice for watercolor stuff, and I've never used regular paper for oil paints, though, because I always canvases. I use oil paints on my canvases, or I have a canvas sketch pad that you can use oil paints onto.
Is that your artwork with the skull behind you, or is that something
No.
that? No,
That's just something I bought on Cafe Press. It was a tapestry. They were having a sale.
Looks
So I
cool.
thought it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But I don't know if you can see I've moved the mug. Okay, yeah, because I got somewhere in the background there. I've got a mug with my dragon illustration on it.
Nice.
Yeah, I may have the illustration itself back here if I can reach. Just let me see. Yeah, there we go. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's pastels.
Ah,
Maybe it's on camera.
like his grin.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I did that with oil pastels. I think it was oil pastels. It was one of the pastels I have. I have two sets, and I can't remember which one I used.
I think it's good to have hobbies out of writing.
Yeah.
We're artists, and I think that doesn't just mean that we write books. We can either sing, some of us, and others can paint, others can draw.
Yeah.
Art is art.
Yeah. I want to get back into doing some of my art, because I want to do it and then photocopy it and get it up on and sort of digitalize it in Photoshop, so I can use it for some of my merchandise on my Redbubble store too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
About you, Jim, do you have any other artistic talents other than writing?
If you count cooking, I've been getting into that a lot more with the
Art of cooking. Yes,
the art
why
of
not?
cooking. Yeah. So some friends that got me into sous vide cooking, like the whole thing where you like get it to near boiling in a freezer bag, and you have it literally on your phone. It's idiot proof. It's fantastic. I made some really good tasting chicken with it. It's great.
I like
good
the
stuff.
one pot wonders. You throw everything in a saucepan, just let it boil.
Yeah. I like using the slow cooker.
Oh yeah, those are good stuff. You make some good chili or something like that with the
Yeah.
slow cooker.
I like to make sort of like I wouldn't exactly call it pot roast, because I usually use chicken thighs or something, but vegetables, chicken thighs, and then some sort of sauce like jerk sauce or kind of an Indian style sauce, and just let it cook, and then it all just sort of melts in your mouth at the end. So
Good stuff.
But yeah, one of these days I am going to use it for chili, though, when I finally get around to using the dried ghost peppers I have.
You are more brave than me. Those ghost peppers. I've had some. Excuse me. I put my phone on vibrate here. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, I've used the jalapeno, not jalapenos, but the habanero peppers in my chili, and they just don't get it hot enough for me. So I'm going to try the ghost peppers.
You like it hot then? Those ghost peppers are.
Yeah,
Those are-
that's why I'm kind of hesitating because ghost peppers. I mean, habaneros are hot, but ghost peppers are like way up here hot. So yeah, so I haven't been brave enough quite yet, but I've got some dried ones that I'm going to try. So
Talking of peppers, I'm doing some stuffed grilled peppers tomorrow.
Oh.
And they're going to have feta cheese inside and
That sounds good.
strong mature cheddar, and then some mozzarella, 4 cheeses. Bung
4
it.
cheese and stuffed peppers, huh?
4 cheeses, yeah. Empty the seeds out of the long green pepper and stuff it up right till it's full. Wrap it up in tin foil and get it on the coal. 10 minutes. Oh, beautiful.
That does sound good.
Having that with lamb tomorrow. Lamb on the spit,
Oh,
which is how we do it over here in Greece. We don't do lamb in the oven.
I've seen that on like when you get a hero or something in the States, they usually have it, spinning around when they slice off the meat from it, and
yeah,
it's on a spit too.
yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with the donaires up in Nova Scotia. We actually had a donaire cam for a while. On like we have this services, Nova Scotia webcams, and they have these webcams set up around the province, and you can check out the countryside or the places where they're set up. And they installed one in one of the donaire shops, and they had a donaire cam, and it was like their most popular webcam for a while. It's just spinning meat.
Why not, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it would just spin. The little rotisserie would just spin, and they'd slice off the donaire meat for the sandwiches. And yeah.
Those are good too. Like you can get a good falafel even if you don't have the meat too, with the same kind of idea there.
I got a quick question for you, Anita. When you did the live events, you set them up in StreamYard, correct?
Yeah.
Do they automatically create? They automatically created event, as I see, but okay, so it went from LitCon from the page, correct? Because
yeah, I uploaded it directly to the page, and from the page I shared it to the event, because I can't upload directly to the event from StreamYard. They only allow pages and groups in StreamYard from Facebook, and your profile, I think, too. But
because it shows up on the page, but it doesn't show up in upcoming events, because I had created a Sunday 1 p.m. and then I realized you had a Sunday 1 p.m. Which we're just going to go live in the actual event itself, and then that way you're going to go live on the page. We'll share your thing on the event, and they can choose which workshop they want to.
Well, I've already shared the panels on the event page. I haven't shared in the group, but I shared in the event page.
Well, shared wise meaning the event itself, but it's shared there. But what I'm saying is we'll actually go physically live in the event page so that it's separate, so it doesn't doesn't counteract.
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing about StreamYard, because wherever you share it, it will go live in the share as well as on the page.
Oh, good. So you won't even have to share it then. It'll automatically do it there.
Yeah. Well, all I have to do is share. All I have to do is upload it to the LitCon page, share the post from the LitCon page to whatever I want.
And when it goes live,
it goes live everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah. That's why I like using StreamYard. And the even better thing is if you have to cancel an event, like if something happens and you have to cancel, Facebook will delete it off of everywhere if you haven't gone live. It will just disappear.
Oh, very cool.
Mm-hmm. You have to manually delete it from YouTube, but yeah, if you just delete it from StreamYard, Facebook will just everything will disappear nicely. So, except if you share directly to a group. If you share directly to a group, you have to manually delete it. So, if you yeah, I mean, I love using StreamYard. StreamYard is so easy. It's doesn't have a lot of technical issues. I mean, you do get a few connection issues from time to time, but you get that with any streaming service. And it's got a lot of bells and whistles. And I mean, I'm on the paid plan, the basic paid plan. So I've got a few extra things I can do, like uploading the video openings and banners and things like that. And I can stream up to three different sites at the same time. I usually, when I do my book chats, I usually do to the page, my group, and to YouTube. So.
Where are they based out of? Are they Canadian, or are they US, or?
They're US. StreamYard is. I'm not sure where in the US. California, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, but yeah, they've got a YouTube channel with a lot of technical, tutorial stuff too, and they do live streams on updates, and they're very good about updating. And their customer service, I give them thumbs up on their customer service, because I had a couple of issues, and it was just a minor thing where the thumbnail did not upload to YouTube, and I emailed them and they told me what to do and how to fix it. No problem. So yeah.
That's
I really, really can't say anything very bad about them, because I haven't had an issue, and I really love it. And it's really easy for the guests because it's just all browser based. So all you have to do is click the link and you're in. Like with Zoom, you have to download apps and things. And with other same thing, but with the StreamYard, you just click the link, come in through your browser, check your camera, type in your name, and I just add people to the stream, and off we go.
Yeah, I gotta admit, when I'm doing like Authors Write Aloud, and some of those other shows, the single shows where there's not as many. I mean, the reason I have this set up the way I do is because it's set up so that we can have up to 100 participants at any given time.
Yeah.
And that's why I set it up that way for LitCon Lounge, was specifically so that we could have as many as we'd like over the weekend, which is something we've never been able to do.
Yeah.
In the past, it's usually 5, 6. Well, actually, I think what was the max on Hangouts? 10. I think so. Was the
I think
most,
10, yeah.
Yeah. The max on StreamYard is 10 now too. So.
Oh, okay. See, they've upped that, and before,
it was 6. It was 6, but now they can go 10.
Yeah. See,
if you're on a I don't know if it's 10 for the free plan, but it's a free plan, but it's 10 for the paid plan, definitely. Because I mean, there are limitations on the free plan, but the free plan was pretty good too. So, I mean, I upgraded to the paid plan because they gave me a discount, a lifetime discount on it. So,
oh, nice.
And I wanted a few bells and whistles, extra bells and whistles when I started my show, so I upgraded.
I wouldn't mind upgrading, and I think I was offered that same thing because I was one of the first handful to sign up when they first created it, and I think I missed out on it. By the time I actually got the email and sat down and said, "Oh wow, I got this opportunity," and I clicked on it, and by then it was like it was gone. And of course, it's my own fault where I should have just emailed the two guys and said, "Hey, here's the situation." So on and so forth. And knowing the two of them, they probably would have honored it anyway. Because I gotta admit, for two young kids, I call them kids because they're much younger than us. I mean, they're like straight out of college or just graduated high school age.
But those young whippersnappers know the technology more.
I'm telling you, they have built something awesome with StreamYard. They really have. And they, like you said, they are really good at customer service. You have a question or a problem, you can hit them up through, the help the help desk, or hit them, even hit them up on Facebook Messenger. I have once, I think I couldn't find where to connect to get help or something when I first started with it, but I had them on Facebook, so I sent it in Messenger.
Yeah.
I like, hey, I'm sorry to reach out here. I know it seems kind of unprofessional, but I couldn't figure out where to connect to you on the website.
They do have a Facebook group now, which is sort of a help group that you can ask questions in as well. And they have tips.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done nothing but grow. And, and the only thing they have done is they keep adding features. They just keep adding, new features and, all the extra stuff that you can do. Like today, when I logged in today to try to get it going, I was like, oh no, where do I go now? Because it was a little different from the last time I'd used it. It was fairly similar, but it just took me an extra second to catch on to, okay, now I go here. And that's only because I haven't used it in quite a while. Over the winter, when I bring Authors Write Aloud back, I'm going to get into that. And my goal is this year to work Authors Write Aloud into a dual. I want to do some of the live video broadcasts that I was doing in the past, but I also want to work it as a podcast and find a couple of sponsors, and also push it as a winter series, so that people expect that in the spring and summer that it will kind of dip on off, versus just disappearing, because I want to set it up a little bit more like a monetization thing, not necessarily to make money off of it, but to fund it so that I can afford to pay for the upgrade on StreamYard specifically, because they do have excellent things. And so I'm going to put it on like Patreon and, find a way to work it like that, if I can get 5 or 6 people to do a coffee, $2 a pop, that's enough to pay for, the monthly subscription.
Yeah. But yeah, my book show, I do my book show through that, the Between the Pages book chat. And then I do some sporadic, I've been trying to get a little more regular in doing the author advice segments, where I sit down and I talk about subjects like, I did one on how to submit to anthologies, and I did one on Patreon too. And there was a couple, I think I did another one, which I can't remember, I did a DIY book cover, how to do your own book covers. I did that as a live stream demonstration with Photoshop. That was fun. Well, Photoshop died in the middle of it. It crashed.
Oh, cool.
So
You
yeah,
killed it off.
yeah, I did. I killed it off. Anyway,
Well, my
but
show,
actually,
my
that
show
was an
behind the
interesting.
pen.
But that was a fun thing to do the book covers. I did that, not so much as to convince people to do their own book covers, but to show people what they have to look for in a book cover so they can talk to their artist better. Because I see a lot of authors saying, what do we tell artists when we're talking to them? How do we explain things to them, what we want? And kind of have a discourse, because a lot of authors don't know anything about art.
Yeah, but they're the boss. They must have an idea of what they want their cover to look like.
Yeah, they do, but they don't know how to talk art. Because talking, I want a person on the cover and he wants to be doing this and he wants to be doing that. And the artist is saying art things. It's like, which way do you want the light to come in? Do you want the arm up?
I don't have that with mine.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
not every artist does it, but some do. And some, it's like a lot of artists, they're starting in book covers too. I mean, they're great artists, but they're maybe new to book covers. And so and I've seen artists and authors kind of struggle to talk to each other. So I was trying to get doing that,
It's different, yeah.
Anyway,
I found that
Go on.
sorry, I find that it helps to get go to Google image searches and get like elements that you're wanting on there, because it's a lot easier to communicate with someone that's very visual with as
Yeah.
an artist with images. So
Yeah,
that's what I have found is the most successful.
that is an excellent way to do it, is to show the artist, this is kind of what I want, you know, because I mean, an artist isn't going to copy the image. I mean, that's another thing. And, you know, I've seen authors ask, but I don't want the art, you know, I don't want to have copyright problems with the artist copying the image, but the artist isn't going to copy the image. They're going to look at the way it is, the style, and whatever, do it in their own style.
Right.
But they're going to have a better idea of what you want if you show them images and stuff.
Yeah, I've never done that. I've just gone straight away and told her like illusional reality. There we go. It's a duology, and I told her straight away I wanted the main character as two-faced. If you put a hand in between, can't see what you're looking at now, but one side is Thaya from the fantasy side, and the other side is Becky from Earth.
Huh, that's cool.
In our dimension. And she did it perfectly. I mean, people didn't even notice it was two different people. That's how subtle she did it. But it's exactly how I wanted it. And she sent me about 3 different drafts, and I'd say, no, can you do this differently? Can you change that? Can you do this? And yeah, she just delivered straight away. And then the second book, because we have Becky in our dimension, and then Thaya, who finds out that she's a ruler in a fantasy world, but she holds a power that's quite evil, and she doesn't know how to control it. So in the second book, we've got a duology again, this time of Thaya, which is there, and then of the other side of Thaya, which is there. And again, I explained to her what I was looking for, and she bought it. Just absolutely amazing. Exactly what I wanted.
Was it your idea to make the eyes different? You know, I mean, like
Yes.
not different as the like their sizes even, because it looks like one is like wider than the other. Was that your call too?
For the sizes, I didn't say anything about the size, but in the book, it describes her as having bright white eyes when she becomes the other side of her personality. So the duology is a duology in one book and a duology in another book, and so you put them together. And the box set, which I can't show you the cover of, has actually got Becky looking into a mirror and seeing the Gesell, which is the demon half, inside the mirror.
Huh, cool.
So yeah, it was lovely because I had this self-published, and this is my book, and then I was ready to publish this one. It was ready, and I was offered a publishing contract from a small press, and I said, I'll take it if you take my covers, because I'm not having my covers changed. And luckily they took the covers, so I was able to keep them.
Yeah, well, they're gorgeous covers, and you know, it saves them money if the covers are already done. So
yeah, for sure.
Exactly. But I mean, she's actually said to me that the publisher said to me that if the books don't sell, it could be the covers. And I went, no, it won't be the covers. I totally disagree. But she's a publisher, and if she wants to change the covers, I don't have any say in that. And I'm dreading that. So I hope that never happens. But unfortunately, when you're with a publisher, you've only got so much power than when you're published and you're an independent author.
Yeah, presumably they're able to leverage their their marketing and everything else to help you out. At least I would hope that is the exchange that you get for going with them.
I've probably spent more money on marketing and promoting these books than my publisher has, and you'll find that with big presses as well as small
Sure.
presses, that the author will do most of the work, because they don't take everything and wash their hands of it, but they expect the author to come with a good social media presence,
Mhm.
a good Twitter fan base. They expect that, and if you do have that, then they leave you to promote to your fan base, and they do things like Amazon ads while you're promoting social media.
Yeah, makes sense. Kind of partner up with it.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry about that, folks. Had to blow my nose. That's what happens when you're sick.
Oh,
But
all good.
that was good to know.
Sorry. Well, at least I didn't like just mute my mic and do it on camera. Yeah, for some that don't know, and anybody that doesn't know out there, the reason LitCon has been so quickly put together this week is because I've been on a week-long quarantine. I am awaiting my test results, which has been really frustrating and irritating because I was told it was a two-day test, and I was tested on Monday and still don't have test results.
Oh my God, I got
Yeah.
tested and I got mine in 24 hours.
This is my second go round. I mean, I had my test results from the last time within 24 hours because I had surgery. So that was
Right.
that was a mandated. You had to go get tested before I went into the
Yeah.
hospital for surgery. And that was bam. I knew within 24 hours. And this time around, it's really driving me nuts. I went to one of the testing sites that's supposed to be, the 24 to 48 hour testing site, so on and so forth. And and I mean, I've got like my fire chief and my health director, because I'm an EMT, so I can't respond to anything. I can't go anywhere. They're asking me, how come you haven't gotten your test results back? I said, you got me swinging, man. I've called my doctor. I've called the test site. And today I finally got a hold of the lab, and the lab told me that because there's a giant influx in my two counties, because we're kind of like inter-county, because I'm Fulton County. I live in Fulton County, but I have a Montgomery County address. So when they send me to Montgomery County to be tested because it's the closest site to me. So that's where
Were
I
you
went.
told to be tested, or was this your choice?
No, I was quarantined by my doctor. Friday, I got sick on Friday. It's mostly, I'm pretty positive it's a head cold.
Cold.
Because
Most of them are.
yeah, I mean, it's mostly like bronchitis, mostly just phlegm, and it just feels like a normal head cold to me. I don't have fever. I'm not having any of the other signs and symptoms. I'm not having I have my smell. I don't have all the other crazy stuff going on. The only thing I have is literally head congestion and,
Yeah, it's probably
coughing.
cold. Yeah, flu.
That kind
And
of
there
thing.
he goes, coffee.
Yeah. So, so I think that's all it is. But Monday, it started to settle down in my chest. And when it does that, it creates a pneumonia, because at the last couple of times I got really badly sick with the flu, I ended up with stage 3 pneumonia, and I was hospitalized. It was rough.
Been there.
Because of that, they worry that every time I get sick that it's going to turn to pneumonia. So Monday, when I went into my chest for a little bit, the first thing I did was, I better take the day off of work and not go to work so I spread more germs around, because that's where I got it in the first place. One of my coworkers came to work sick because, well, we're not really following mask mandates at my job, and we're also not following the, should stay home if you're sick. Yeah, we should, and yes, they should, but they don't, because we're essential and we need to get the job done. So it's kind of a catch 2020. And I get it too. Where the wages we make, they're comparable. They're a good wage, but at the same time, it's not necessarily I'm making $45,000 or $50,000 a year, where if I took a week off, it's no big deal. I got money in the bank. I'm not nowhere near there. So to take a week off of work is kind of detrimental.
Yeah.
And that goes along with all of my coworkers. So I completely understand why they, just want to come to work and get to work, but it's passing germs, and that's what happened. It is what it is. It happens.
So once you get the all clear, you can go back to work. Yeah, you'll be out of
as long as
isolation.
I get the okay and everything. But anyways, Monday I called the doctor and said, look, this, I'm sick. This thing settled down into my chest, and I'm more worried about it becoming the pneumonia that I had, 2 years ago and everything. And she's like, well, you're off for the week. You're going to get tested for coronavirus. You're quarantined. Find a new room in the house to live in. You got to stay away from the wife and kid.
God.
Da, 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 da. So I've been out here staying away from the wife and kid. Now, mind you, we didn't catch it early enough because I got sick Friday. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I was in the house passing germs when I thought it was just something small. So now my wife and daughter are in the house sick. So now we're all sick.
They've got the cold as well, have they?
Yes. And like I said, I think it's all just a cold. We're going to know more once my test results come back. But
have they been tested?
They haven't been, no, not yet, because we weren't sure what it was, and we figured we might as well wait for mine to come back first. Luckily enough, she's on hybrid school, so most of the time she's at home on online learning, my daughter. And my wife is off from work anyways on the unemployment thing because of the pandemic. So
yeah.
Luckily enough, we have that going for us. But it's been a little bit of a situation.
My kids are doing their schooling online. None of the schools are open over here. And we went into lockdown on Saturday, and they've now done a 9 p.m. curfew. No one is allowed out of the house after 9 p.m.
Oh, no
Everything's
kidding.
closed anyway. All the nightclubs, all the clubs, all the restaurants, all the bars, all the coffee shops, they're all closed anyway. You've got supermarkets that you're only allowed to buy food. You can't go into a supermarket and buy shampoo. You're only allowed to buy food. I said, how can they stop you from buying other products? And what the Greece think, this is how Greece think, that because of all the other shops that have closed down, why should the supermarket be making money from the products that they sell that they can't sell? So now they've stopped the supermarkets from selling the products from the shops that are closed. Does that make sense?
Huh. It is kind of
but that's the way it works here over in Greece. So yeah, we're not just on lockdown, we're on a 9 p.m. curfew as well, and no shopping except food from supermarkets. Now that's a strict lockdown. I don't know any other country.
That's what we were when we started. And then we phased out. They broke it down into phases. For the longest time we had it like the box stores. The only box stores that were open were Walmarts because they have grocery stores in them. But there was like Vermont, my neighboring state, where my family is from. It's where I'm from and grew up. My mom and my stepdad and all them, they couldn't even go into Walmart because they literally had everything locked down. And then when they did reopen partially, they literally had everything roped off except for the food aisles. Now theirs isn't a super center, so it's not a full grocery store. They have like 3 aisles with some small minor things in it. So the only spots you could go was health and beauty, so you could get your soaps and toilet paper and those kind of things. And then those 3 food aisles, and the rest of the entire store was roped off.
Exactly over here, yeah.
They've since phased it out and did phases, and to get us back to what we're at now, which for the most part we were almost fully open. They had some restrictions. Restaurants were serving outside, that sort of thing. But because of a giant influx over the past week and a half, 2 weeks, our governor actually locked it down again. And starting tonight, all restaurants are closed to nothing but curbside pickup. All bars are closed, period.
Yeah.
Some other businesses have to close down. Some other businesses have to close early. They're basically going to
It's
enact
scary.
another
I mean,
curfew and stuff like that again.
I saw pictures of the Greek TV over in mainland Greece, and you see all the shops with the shutters down. And we're talking, it'd be mid-sale now if everything was open. The sales would be on. And you see people that are walking around have to get permission to be out by sending an SMS to the government under, I'm going to a doctor, I'm exercising, I've got to go to the bank, there's like 4 or 5 different choices that allows you to leave the house. And you have to have permission sent back through your mobile that allows you to leave. So it was showing this camera and it was showing the pictures, and everybody was walking around with a mask. And I just looked at it and thought, how have we got to this way? How have we got to this? We are living in a science fiction movie. How did it ever get that way? And it's very, very scary. And I mean, we're told maybe mid-December before anything opens up. So Christmas is going to be a very unusual Christmas for many people around the world, I think, this year.
Mm-hmm.
But what can we do,
It's a little better here in Atlantic Canada. We have kind of this 4-province bubble where we've sort of not stopped it, but it's sort of flattened out. So, yeah, so we're a little less restrictive. I mean, we still have to wear masks, we still have to keep social distancing, but their restaurants are open, stores are open. And they all have rules and regulations, and you have to navigate it all. But yeah, it's a little better here. The rest of Canada is not so great, but
This is what I don't get, you see, because Greece is like the lowest of the European countries of cases, and yet we are in the red. And Corfu, which was totally free of the virus before the summer, we are in the red now, this little island. And yet Greece has got lower deaths and lower cases than any other European country, and yet we have the strictest lockdown and the strictest measures than any other European country. Strange. But I'm glad, because we've kept our numbers down because of it.
yeah, that's kind of what happened in Atlantic Canada too, because we got put on lockdown, we got strict measures put in, and we flattened the curve. Places like Ontario and Quebec, they opened up way too soon, and they got a second wave, and they're still fighting it. So
yeah, we're in the second wave. Yeah, I think there'll
so
be a
I mean,
third
our
wave.
numbers have spiked a little bit. We're up to 50 cases again, but 50 active cases again in Nova Scotia. But yeah, that's mostly from travel, because they lifted the travel restrictions a little bit because of the the schools opening and the people coming into the colleges and stuff. And other
And the
things.
UK had 20,000 new cases in one day. I think yesterday or the day before in the UK.
Yeah, so 50 cases aren't
scary.
so bad, but
That's scary.
Yeah.
but yeah, our governments have been keeping an eye on things and enforcing the quarantine protocols, which I like. And yeah, so and we closed down the border with the US. And we're not opening it. I don't care. But no offense to you guys, the US, but it's not opening if Canada has their way. So
Yeah, we were fine when we had all our borders closed, and as soon as the summer season came and we were a tourist resort, we need our tourists. We opened up, we let them in, numbers just shot up. What can you do?
It is not a good. It's just anything that you can do, like just to connect with people, is a risk with it, and it's not ideal at all, to say it very
Mind blowing.
mildly. Yeah.
It really is. And I think even with the vaccine, even if we get that in the next year or so, we're talking 3-4 years before anything gets back to how it was, if it ever will.
Oh,
Things will change. I mean, we can't even predict how things will change. It's going to be different.
We can, exactly.
I could get really political right now, but I will not.
No, don't, please.
I banned politics. I banned politics for a reason.
Yeah.
Good.
But
Yeah, we don't
yes,
talk politics on my show.
it's
Politics
definitely,
and religion off the
yeah, it's
table.
definitely going to be. I've always, we had a phrase on our last SciCon that we ran, 2019, in the very beginning of the year. We didn't have Joe's Bar, so we had a show that myself and Stacy had come up with, Miss Overby, called Novel Ideas and Shenanigans. And the kind of phrase of that show was, there was no such thing as politics, religion, and her. Meaning, you know, we didn't want any of that kind of stuff in there. And it caught on rather well, and everybody was quite decent about it. Actually, I was quite impressed with how that went off, because it does get into issues with
Of course.
different stuff, and everybody's got it. Yeah, everybody's got their own
People
opinion, and
have their
everybody's
own opinion.
right, and
People have their
everybody's
own
entitled
opinion,
to it.
but
Everybody's entitled to it. I went
but they
to
should keep it to themselves
right.
when you're
Well,
not asked for it.
Exactly. And, you know, like I got to, I'll float back to like a couple of nights ago. I don't know if it was last night or the night before. I had a little bit of a break after I got all the books loaded on the website, and I was over on Facebook checking some things out. And one of my Facebook groups that I'm in, writing group, it's actually writing and promotion. So you can actually promote your stuff in that group. And there's a big, huge write-up on politics in there. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This is a writing and, marketing promotion group for authors and writers. This is not the place for this.
It's not.
And if you want to share that, go ahead and share it, but not here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because that was
Exactly.
crazy, it was just nuts. I'm like, why would somebody post that here? Because there is a time and a place for it. And, when we're at a place like this and, a complete convention dedicated to writing and authors, there isn't a place for it.
No, exactly. I mean, I have my opinions on religion and my opinions on politics, and they're my opinions, and they'll stay with me. They don't go on my Facebook. They don't go in my radio show. They don't go on Behind the Pen. If anyone starts on, if it's a political book we're talking about, if it's a spiritual book we're talking about, I won't ask them questions regarding that side of it. It's just not something I want to discuss on my shows. And mostly, people know and people are okay about it. But you could really get into some very nasty debates when people have opinion and they want it to be heard.
True enough.
Okay, so it's 2:45 in the morning. I'm not going to sleep because I have insomnia, so I don't sleep anyway. But I will be leaving so I can just chill and do some reading. And then I have a panel tomorrow, which I'm really excited about. So if you want to take back the hosting, Richard.
Sure. You can pop that back over to me.
How do I do that? Oh, right. Hold on. Yeah, I've got it. Make host. There we go.
I think you should be able to go up to my name where it says more.
I've done it.
Yep, there it goes.
Okay, right. Good night, gentlemen, and good night, public who are watching. Or good morning. It's 23. Enjoy the rest of your evening, afternoon, morning, whatever. And I will catch up with you tomorrow.
Well, have a
Kali
restful
Michelle.
time.
No, get some rest, and I hope you enjoy some sleep.
That don't happen for me. I'm used to it.
Yeah, I gotta probably pop off too because I got a panel in an hour. So
All
and I
right.
got some stuff to do first. So I will see you tomorrow probably, or
Sounds good. I'll
if you pop into the chat on the panel, I might see you later tonight. But anyway, then,
If you can bounce me the, do you want me to come into the panel tonight or just
not
watch?
tonight.
Tomorrow
I need
night.
you Saturday 5:30 Eastern.
Saturday 5:30. I'll be there.
Yeah,
I'll be-
because I've
I'll be in
got
chat
one
tonight.
confirmed, one I think is coming. The other one I haven't heard of, so I need an extra for that panel.
All righty. So tonight, I'll
Every
just
other
be in
panel
chat.
set though, and the Sunday panel is going to be great. I think that's the one you're in, Jim. So
yeah, on the Sunday one.
yeah.
I'll probably just
Well,
chat
I
too.
got 2 on Sunday, so I've got 2 tomorrow and 2 on Sunday, and I'm trying to keep them all straight.
Cool. I think I might as well just jet as well. So I'll probably jump on and stuff tomorrow here. So we will catch everyone on the flip side.
All righty.
Okay, bye.
All right. See you later.
See you all later.
Yep.